Today is 17th, August 17th, 2019. My name's Ethan Groberg. We have a lot of family down here for my farewell talk. I'm going to the MTC on the 21st, which means it's probably the 18th today, actually. Wait.
18.
Semantics. Anyways, a lot of people here for my farewell talk. I'm going to be going to the Tonga Nuku'alofa mission. I report August 21st. So we had a couple questions we wanted to ask you guys for this interview. The first one I was curious about was how does learning a new language affect the understanding of the languages that you already know?
I think it affects it quite a bit. I think I've mentioned a few times that when I finally learned how the language, and I would read the Book of Mormon in Tongan, I would read a verse and I'd say, well, they mistranslated that. That isn't. And then I'd go back and read the English. Oh, no, I just have misunderstood it all the time.
Yeah.
They've got it right. So it adds a depth of meaning that sometimes if you only know one language, you're fairly limited in the breadth of meaning of particular words, whereas a second language or a third language really expands the ability to see, well, there are other meanings, there are other ways of looking at things. So I think it's a great opportunity.
I can't speak for one that really has learned another language well, but the part of when I was trying to learn Tongan, and I was so fascinated with the uniqueness of how they did things. They take simple words and combining them together gives a whole other meaning, or creates a whole concept almost. The thing that I guess when I was now you're going to have to help me bishop. Before they had wards and there were branches. The branch president was translated as the Tauhi-Kolo. Kolo was the word for town or village. Tauhi means to take care of, or to. So it's the person who is in charge of taking care of that town or village. It just kind of, and then Tauhi-Siki is the word for shepherd, one who takes care of the sheep. And that fascinated me with taking such simple things and putting them together in a way that gives a really depth and meaning.
All right, then the other question is there anything that you guys maybe thought you would have learned or experienced as you've grown older that maybe you haven't, or realized you maybe didn't need to, or just something you sort of expected but didn't happen?
Gee, maybe you didn't expect to take care of a cripple.
Well, having grown up in a very small family with just one older sister at the time I was growing up, I was fascinated by the concept of a large family, a number of siblings. But I thought probably would never be my role, and so this is the reverse. I learned through the years that what it is like and how wonderful it is to have the blessing of a large family. And so that's kind of the opposite of what your question is. I learned something that I never anticipated or not even. And again, I kept thinking, well, maybe once all the children are grown and on their own, I can then start learning to play the piano or something, but that didn't ever happen.
I can't really think of anything that I had anticipated about growing older that hasn't happened. I recognize, I think one of the things, it wasn't necessarily that I anticipated, but one of the things that has really become important to me is as you grow older, you become more and more grateful for good friends and for family, and I sense that that's really part of what life is about, is to have eternal relationships with friends and family. And I remember the prophet Joseph one time said that there's nothing that touches his heart more than being with a good friend, someone that's loyal, a loyal friend. And loyalty to the Lord is demonstrated by loyalty to one another. So I think I felt that stronger than, not that I really anticipated it or didn't anticipate it. It's just something that's come along with the value of good, loyal friends.